What I did was I gave an overview of the merchant CO2 business here in the U.S., and I tried to sort of explain what's been going on sort of historically and current and into the future, what I see. And we've been struggling really difficultly in this industry, and our issue is we just don't have enough sourcing. But we have a lot of demand, and we have a lot of new applications coming on, and we're just not going to be able to meet that demand unless we can add more supply. And that has been a sore spot because the cost to invest and put in new supply has been the real issue. And a lot of the end users are sort of, they just want the price where it is and keep it low. But with the shortages, prices have increased, and now we're looking at the point where we might be able to consider investing in additional sources in order to, that can be paid for by this higher price. But my talk talked about how the suppliers and the end users have to work together and understand that, and the producers have to get a decent margin. But I think end users are going to have to get comfortable with the fact that it's going to cost more now. Right now, we had a really bad summer, and a lot of people have described it as the worst that we've had. It's the typical shortage in the summer because the plants go down for maintenance, and we always end up also with higher demand during the summer, and we can't build up enough supply. So we had that happen, but then we also had contamination at the Jackson Dome, and that just exacerbated the situation. So that's why people are calling it the worst situation ever in years that people can think of. And now, of course, we're going into the fall with the two large ammonia plants going down on the East Coast. So it's really a rough situation. People are tired of the allocations and the price increases, but a lot of people are paying pretty big prices to get product to keep operations going. We don't want to be here every other year. You come in, you do the conference, and we're still in the same place we were before. And this is why I brought up the whole helium situation. Helium, the pricing kept going up and up, and we weren't getting new sources coming on, but we didn't need it back then. But now with the BLM going down, we needed more sources. Well, what happened was the price of helium rose enough that they started to be able to get some smaller sources in there, the non-hydrocarbon sources, to beef up the supply chain. And I think we're finally getting to that point, because we don't want to end up here all the time complaining about CO2 and not having enough supply. So I'm hoping we're at that point where we can start investing. I don't see it happening in the next 3 years, but I think you're going to see a gradual increase, and then people getting together. And with this carbon sequestration, I know it frightens a lot of people, and that's why they're here at the conference. They're afraid it's going to take supply, out of the market. I really, I think there's plenty of supply out there, regardless of those pipelines going in. So I think we'll be okay. But there's a lot of reasons for people to be here. My message: please invest more and work together. I really would like to see the suppliers, doing more, or rather, the end users doing more to help themselves instead of just, throwing it always on top of the suppliers because they can't get their supply. They're really, you just can't keep doing that. You've got to work together. You got to tell them when your demand is coming. You got to put in more storage. You got to build contingencies, but you got to do that as a team, and you got to be willing to share in, the cost of that supply chain, be it a higher price or putting in those investments.